Former MFM pastor accuses MFM founder W1ÇKEÐ of using his influence to put him in prison for 9 years without trial, laments police torture and abuse. Can you imagine? I think I listened to that audio, and that man said so many things against this Jimoh of MFM, W1ÇKEÐ, for having hitmen, for having, he put so many accusations on W1ÇKEÐ, and I wonder if MFM is what we see it from outside or not, because the story is just too much and too long. Pastor Jimoh, who made this known during an interview on W1ÇKEÐ TV, alleged that his trial started, or his temptation and persecution started when he met the chief security officer to Pastor Daniel W1ÇKEÐ at a native doctor's house. Oh boy. So Pastor Femi Jimoh, a Nigerian man who identified himself as a former pastor at the Mountain of Fire and Miracles Ministries International MFM, has accused the church of sentencing him to prison for 9 years without trial over alleged armed robbery. Jimoh, who made this known during an interview on W1ÇKEÐ TV, alleged that his trial started when he met the chief security officer to Pastor Daniel W1ÇKEÐ at a native doctor's house. So he said he was beaten and handcuffed while a divisional police officer shot him in the leg. Oh boy. So according to him, his mother and sister went to beg W1ÇKEÐ on his behalf, but he told them that he would be released only if he pleaded guilty in court. So he said if it is by telling lies, they should look for someone that can tell lies, because MFM believes that if anybody speaks on radio and television, he will be disregarded. So my words are not to be disregarded. Let them hear me very well. If they want to call the police or lawyer, I am ready. My words cannot be disregarded, because I know them to be unforgiving, and I can swear to that. If you offend them, they do not forgive at MFM. That is the bad character they have. It is my church. My elder brother worship there. My mom is there. I gave birth to my children there. My uncle is with Pastor W1ÇKEÐ. So we are grounded in MFM. So in our church, we don't forgive. We are mean. I am the one saying all this. My name is Pastor Femi. The whole world should know me. Even the ones who don't know me should see me. Pastor Olufemi was given to me in 2007. I met Gbadamosi, who is the chief security officer to Pastor W1ÇKEÐ, at a native doctor's house. What did he go there to do? He was surprised to see me, and I did not reveal it to any human being. I was arrested and kept in the cell. I was there for 30 days. I didn't have a lawyer. So the question people will ask is, what did you use to go there to do, the native doctor's house? Maybe we will see later as we read through. They handcuffed my hands and legs and put me in the boot of a vehicle. As we were going, they branched at a filling station and brought me out, removed the handcuff from my hands and transferred me into a Jeep SUV, and was taken to Pastor W1ÇKEÐ's place. So when we got to my general overseer's house or place, I told him with respect and honor, in accordance to MFM, that I had been in a cell for days. His response was so shocking to me. He said, "Don't you know that our prayers here are always answered?" So I pleaded with our father W1ÇKEÐ not to let them take me back to the station, because I didn't know my offense. He said the case was already at the station and that I should let the police carry out their work. He told them to take me away. So they took me to theater, where they tortured me. I was beaten and handcuffed, and when they came to the theater, one DPO shot me in the foot. Oh boy. We were in police custody for several days without food. One day the IPO asked me to call my people, because we were going to the house of death at Jarwe Oduduwa Crescent in Ikeja, SARS, over a house of death. So after over 25 days in SARS, they bailed us with 250,000 naira and took us to Elifo Magistrate Court at Ebutemeta. In the court, I was accused of attempted murder, conspiracy, armed robbery, and felony. So they also accused me of stealing 2 million naira. So the court then adjourned the matter till further notice while I was remanded in Ikoyi prison. So the people I didn't know started bringing food for me in the prison, which I was not comfortable with. But one day, I called on the prison ward and reported my observation, and they were immediately arrested, and they confessed that it was MFM that sent them but could not mention the name of the person in particular. And when they asked them to taste the food, they couldn't. That was what led to my transfer to Kirikiri prisons. My dad died after he came to visit me in prison and saw my situation. My mother and my sister went to beg Olukoya on my behalf. He told them to go and tell me that I should accept that I had sinned and that if I pleaded guilty in court, he would call the judge to release me. So I started gathering people and preaching to them in prison. Then a prophet from Celestial Church was brought to the prison, and I saw a vision that he would be released on the second day. And I told him that. And after he was released, as I earlier prophesied, he intervened in my matter. We went back to court, and Justice A. Williams of Igboesere High Court discharged and acquitted me after eyewitnesses testified, he added. So efforts made by Sarah reporters to speak with his spokesman for the MFM, Mr. Collins Edomaruse, failed. So meanwhile, a publication released on a local news site on Wednesday, which reportedly originated from the legal representatives of MFM, said it was realized that MFM did not frame up Pastor Femi Jimoh, nor was he jailed by the ministry. It claimed that they found out that he was prosecuted by the Nigerian police for a crime he committed. Can you imagine? So the statement reads in part, I woke up to a trending story of one so-called Femi Jimoh claiming that MFM, or rather Dr. Dike Olukoya, put him behind bars for 9 years. The most annoying part is that uncanny people who have no shame, the so-called detractors of the ministry that are facing legal problems, are shamelessly and obviously making a heel out of this move. People like Maureen Badijo and Funke Asheku, who are yet to pay what they owe the ministry from their judgments in court. So our attention was drawn to an interview from one Mr. Olufemi Jimoh via a YouTube platform, wherein he alleged, among other things, that he was framed up by MFM and jailed for 9 years. After our tedious investigation, we opted to set the record straight for the general public. We realized that MFM did not frame up this fellow, neither was he jailed by the ministry. We found out that he was prosecuted by the Nigerian police for a crime he committed. So after speaking to a few people over this matter, we were informed that Mr. Femi Jimoh, who was once a pastor of the MFM ministry, was summoned to the headquarters from the branch he presided over because of his unruly conduct and all manner of infractions he exhibited against the rules and ethics of the ministry for disciplinary purpose. So while he was supposed to be serving his rehabilitative discipline at the headquarters, he plotted with a group of people to rob the church offerings sometime in the year 2000. This insidious plan was to be deadly, since they had planned to use a gun for their heinous mission. But in the act of hiring a gun, somehow God exposed them and the matter was reported to the Nigerian police. So the prosecution of the matter took about 8 years, of which he was in the prison of the Nigerian police, after which he was let go on a technical ground. So we gathered that he thereafter went to National Industrial Court, to sue the ministry, claiming damages of 500 million naira and above for malicious prosecution and all sorts. But it is obvious that the Honorable Court saw through his lies and disagreed with Femi Jimoh on the grounds that MFM was not responsible for his detention, and upon further findings from the court, he was not granted the damages he prayed for except for his salary owed for the period he was in prison. So in all conclusion, Femi Jimoh committed a crime and was in the prison of the Nigerian police for all these years because of the nature of the matter that was in court. So he has nothing to do with MFM or Dr. DK. Okay, this has nothing to do with MFM or Dr. DK Olukoya as being pushed around on the internet, especially by people like Funke Asheku and Maureen Badijo, who are supporting and garnishing the story of a criminal. Or are you thieves because it takes a thief to support a thief? The statement added. Now, wow. So with all of this said now, if Nigeria is to be a sane country, this matter should not be, left like this, because it's now the word of DK Olukoya and MFM against the word of Pastor Jimoh and the word of Funke and the other lady that are also spreading. They said they are members. And those ones are ticket that Funke also is is the lady that has jackpot to Canada with his family and now he's speaking from either US or Canada or so, because he said if he had spoken in Nigeria, he would have died. And if you line up what three of them are saying, three different persons at different times, it points to a very strong accusing finger on DK Olukoya and the MFM authorities. Okay, so if Nigeria is to be a very sane country, federal government should take up this matter and investigate what is actually happening in MFM to validate that what they are alleging against the MFM is true or not. But unfortunately, who is going to do that? Nobody. So it's now the word of these people against the word of MFM. Is that how we're going to leave the matter to remain? I think government should find a way of handling this matter, because a lot of allegations against GOs and men of God in Nigeria and in Africa at large is just getting too bad, that is making people to disrespect God, to drag the name of God in the mud. And that is not a very good one at all. A federal government should take the responsibility of putting the record straight and bringing justice to where justice is needed, and bringing people to book where it is also needed. Somebody say nothing is hidden to the Almighty God. He knows the best and he will judge the case accordingly. We thank God that you have been released, but don't forget prayer so that the Lord will expose the truth. Exactly. Sometimes I ask, where is the space for forgiveness in our churches? That is the problem. We all know that Olukoya is evil. That's what somebody is saying here. Oh boy. Fear Nigerian pastors. That is another thing. Again, sponsored Pastor Jimoh. What made you went to do what to do in native doctor's house? Where does he live? What is his name? Your robbery case, how did it started? Specify Olukoya rule MFM shall reign till the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ coming. Jimoh, you shall expose your sponsors very soon. Okay. So that is what that must be a supporter on the side of MFM. Some say you will experience the same evil with Olukoya if God lives. Somebody has come back to talk confusion here. I'm telling you. The church statement is confusing. They claim he was arrested and prosecuted by Nigerian police force for an offense he committed, an offense which was unknown to the church. But at the same time, they claim he planned a robbery during the disciplinary period at the head office. He planned with some others to rob the offering using ammunition. He was caught by the police red-handed as the robbery was being carried out. Story not straight. The Nigerians are not stupid. The church explanation leaves more questions than answers. Exactly. And another question is, what did you do? Did you steal money, rape, or what? Tell. Can you imagine? Mr. Collins, okay, they are talking, it shall not be well with you again in life. You can also defend your general overseer in the case involving one Mr. Ayomiku. okay, who was also got his freedom from cell. I have said it. Any group or church praying enemy, die, 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 die. It's not a people church. It is a church of wicked people. They are not born again. They only think about enemy. I am close to MFM family. No unity among them. And their members used to die, but they wouldn't announce it. Can you imagine? That is what is this to. And somebody said, let's be blunt here. I have been saying that MFM leadership, okay, should stop everything that has to do with litigations against anyone and preach Christ and his love. If actually there is seed of unforgiveness in the ministry, it's caused by the leadership. Christ did not teach us like that. Exactly. Christ did not teach us like that. So this is a very serious matter now in MFM, but I hope that government will do the needful. Thank you for listening. Let's have your comment.